Hello Internet, my name is Hazel from Hazelnutty Games, and this is how I beat Heroic Loatheb in the Plague Quarter of Curse of Naxxramas by using a homemade hunter deck that I threw together. Loatheb's deal is that he has 99 health, and every turn, regardless of what happens, he will deal 3 damage to your hero on top of whatever he can do with his board. So these games are over very quickly, you need to be able to rush him down, and of course he has 99 health. To help you out, he has these spores that happen as a byproduct of several of his abilities in addition to starting it with 1 on the board. If you kill a spore, all of your minions, not you, but your minions, will get 8 attack, and that's not just for the turn, they keep that. So I'm trying to take advantage of this by using things like Unleash the Hounds, things like Haunted Creepers to sort of flood the board so I can get that attack on as many minions as possible, and then getting past his board using things like owls to silence taunts, traps to slow him down, and then Hunter's Mark and charge minions like boars and whatnot to get through his big stompy stuff. So you can see here, we started with an owl to silence his taunt. He puts out a shade of Naxxramas. This is starting to look like a good point for explosive trap. I put quite a few traps into this deck. I really like freezing trap because it slows him down quite a bit, and explosive trap is a good way to pop those spores when you don't have an arcane shot or a charge minion on hand. Ideally, you want to pop those spores with spells and not minions so that your minion is then free to attack with his extra 8 attack, but you do what you can. Hunters also, of course, have their hero ability which can do extra face damage, which is nice. So in this case, I pop Unleash the Hounds really early because you want to rush this guy down. You're not really going to make it to turn 7, so you want to do as much damage as quickly as possible. And we get 18 damage with those hounds. He now has to deal with that. Unfortunately, he does have several mechanics which allow him to AoE for 1. That ghoul is one of them. He has another card that does it as well. Which means that your hounds and whatnot are not always going to stick to the board as best as they can, but I found it worked alright for me. I'm very interested to see changes that you guys would make to this deck, so let me know about that in the comments. There's probably ways that you can optimize it to make it work even better for this encounter, but of course it worked well enough for my purposes. So we go ahead and use a tracking, we grab a freezing trap. I put Webspinners in this deck, 1 because they're cheap and 2nd because they're fun. They're probably not optimal because you never know what you're gonna get, but I enjoy them quite a bit. So there's Death Bloom, that's one of his abilities that can summon a spore. Deals, I think it was 4 or 5 damage to one of your creatures, so that will clear something you've got up there. Our freezing trap goes ahead and pops his ghoul back to his hand. Unfortunately, we no longer have a board to pop the spore with, so it doesn't really matter. Shieldbearer is another nice card that I've thrown in here to slow him down. We only have 1 right now. I would consider putting 2 in, sub it out for something else, because that is something that is going to buy you a little bit of time. Not a lot of time, because of course his hero power ignores whatever you have on the board, but will help stop against his board for a little bit. He does run Faceless, which is the danger of running like a big combo priest deck, as he can Faceless your buffed up Lightwell or whatever. In this case, he decided he wanted to Faceless his spore because he loves me and wanted to give me a birthday present. I found a big trick to beating Heroic Naxxramas is get really lucky and wait for the AI to mess up real bad. In this case, we now have 2 things we can attack with. We pop a spore, and we go ahead and think. We set up tracking, and we go ahead and pull our Arcane Shot so we can pop the other one. I'm running snake traps because I like the idea of getting more minions out on the board to buff with this sort of thing, but I found they haven't been working too well because the occasions in which he's actually attacking your minions are fairly low. He's usually casting spells on them instead, so not the best. We're down to 4 health, so we're pretty darn close. Snipes are good for getting rid of spores right away, as well as kind of slowing down his board. I like this quite a bit, so we go ahead and pop everything and hit him in the face, and there we are. I have 4 health, but the Snipe pops on the Fen Creeper. 4 health is enough to survive 1 more turn of his necrotic aura. So we are sitting here with 1 health, but he pops another spore there for us. We have quite a bit of damage on the board. Our 17-3 Shieldbearer, 18-3 Leon. I didn't actually see this when I was doing it. I was just kind of hitting him and I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, is this lethal? This is lethal, right? And I could not remember when I had hit him for so much damage, but those spores will really add up if you have the board presence for it. So that's how I did it. I would love to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comments. And feel free to try out the deck if you're having trouble with Heroic Loatheb. It worked pretty good for me. This was, I think, my 2nd try with this, so not too bad. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!